Good morning. Give me a sec. I'm going to talk plant medicine today. Give me a sec to share this. Just summon my friends. Good morning. I'll give it a sec so some people can find us. I'm just waking up here anyway. Good morning, guys. I'm giving it a sec so some people can find us. I'm letting some new members in. Welcome to Ascension School. I have a really good energy report I'm going to do once I get started. I'm just giving it a sec for some more people to find us. I'm about to get going. Give me one sec. Good morning. We're doing the Crown Chakra this week. It's one of my favorites. You guys know I really resonate with purple. If you know me, I'm going to get started in one sec. I'm just adding some people to the group. How are you guys doing? How are you handling the storm? I'm seeing a ton of storm reports all week long, all over Facebook about what a crazy storm it is, how the frequencies are, and I was kind of laughing, me fairy jokes over here. I'm kind of laughing because, we just got finished with our week of rest. How did you enjoy your week of slumber, your week of catching up on your rest? We're getting ready for some pretty intense energy. And I'll just start out with energy first. We have a new moon in Pisces on Wednesday. I always describe this as day one of a 3-day flow from the universe, right? But the energies are really low today. I'm doing some research on geomagnetic frequencies and downloading right now. And I did learn that when the storms, the geomagnetic energies are on the lower side, we can download a lot easier. We're connecting to this universal system, which is so in sync with the Schumann resonance. We need to understand that we vibrate right alongside those frequencies and how interconnected we are, as a global system. And so sometimes when these storms come and hit us, and we're getting ready for some crazy ones this month, sometimes these energies come hit us and they're of a very high, K index on the spectrum. And what happens is we tend to isolate. I don't know if I'm the only one feeling that, right? You tend to want to go off grid. You tend to want to be alone. You tend to want to retreat, meditate more, avoid people more, and things like that. That is something that is that it protects us. It's like as soon as the frequencies get too high for us to handle, sometimes we get closed off as an individual system. Sometimes it can be not great for downloading these real crazy spikes that we're going through, these energy shifts. So the energy is real low today. It's really good for downloading though, meditating, tuning in. It might feel a little flat to you guys. I didn't really want to get up and work today. What else is new? I didn't really want to get up and work today, but when the energies are kind of low like this, I know that the light workers are more needed to vibrate higher to try to lift these frequencies up. So we're kind of going through these crazy energetic shifts. Someone, Meridian described it the other day as it was like a roller coaster on our witch hour when we were talking about it. And that's exactly what it's like. Anyone who ever got any of those psychiatric type of labels, you're probably energy sensitive and just feeling the regular energy shifts. So, signs that you have a closed crown chakra, depression. When I look at the statistics for what people are on pharmaceuticals for, depression and anxiety are pretty up there when it comes to psychotropic medications, not just in adults and children too. Have you ever been around someone that is just so draining to you? Signs you have a closed crown chakra. Your crown chakra is how you assimilate this energy. When you have your crown chakra open, you're going to have a good energy flow streaming into all of your chakras. If you have a closed crown chakra, it could make you very draining to be around. You know, a lot of people in this matrix have a closed crown chakra. Most of humanity is struggling to work on the first 3 chakras that are asleep. So we see that a lot of people that are asleep tend to be draining. I'm sure I was too, going through the matrix, right? With attachments and spiritual issues and things like that. What is really bad for your crown chakra is having no higher spiritual beliefs. A lot of people that are atheists and are closed off to the concepts of God or things bigger than themselves tend to have a closed crown chakra too. You know, there's a lot of symbolism with the crown chakra, whether it is the lotus we see a lot of in Egyptian cultures. We see so much symbolism with that chakra, you know, historically throughout many, many different cultures. So I see a post in one of our groups too, right? Someone is like, how can I have more visualizations meditating? And someone, the winning answer was ayahuasca on the post. Someone wrote ayahuasca. I'm doing my admin work, right? Scrolling down these posts. Someone put ayahuasca on there. That's an amazing idea though, actually, because I am not someone who has visual gifts. While I can see energy particles and energy moving, it's pretty limited to that. You know, I can see things through my third eye, but as for my visual perception, that's not my abilities. That's not my gifts. So I want to be able to have more visual experiences. Plant medicine is amazing for healing, but it's also, you know, has profound effects on human consciousness. Things that we see are changing, right? As the frequencies are shifting and changing, human consciousness is expanding and changing and evolving and growing too. And we see that, you know, suddenly these plant medicines are kind of making a comeback, hopefully with the weed, right? Making a comeback first as tools that could be used for spiritual purposes. Now, I get that plant medicine isn't for everyone. Some people have kids, things going on. They're not able to take psychedelics in their everyday life. I'm one of those people generally because I'm working a lot. So we have another way that you can tune in a visualary kind of way through your dreams. You're having I can't say the word, visuary experiences every night when you go to sleep, when you go into the other realms. Sometimes you're not remembering these experiences, but sometimes you are. Sometimes you're only obtaining glimpses of it, things that you've seen. It could be like a little tiny fragment of your dream, things you're bringing back. Sleep is one of the most powerful meditations that you can have. You go to sleep and you enter an entire reality just in your own mind. You play every role in those dreams. If you have a dream at night and you're, you know, experiencing several people in it, different roles, different people, you're playing all of those roles too. It works no different in this dimension, in this realm, as it does in the dream world. We're going to soon find out. So we've been at low frequencies for a very long time on this planet. The entire time I was asleep going through this journey, we're at very, very low frequencies. And as the frequencies are increasing, what is happening is our vibration determines what dimension we can access. So if we keep going up in frequency, theoretically, we're able to access higher and higher dimensions. There is a merging that is occurring, not just with our timelines as light workers, but with the dimensions and the realms too. Your reality here might be feeling more dreamlike. You might be having more deja vu, you know, with any of these lunar energies. And we're starting to get hit with the lunar energy now. We just had a ton of solar winds kind of ripping through this planet. And now we're getting hit with the lunar energy. And I always say it's much different. It should be connecting you more intuitively. All right, your crown chakra is a gauge of all your chakras. It's like a barometer. Think about if you have a temperature and, you know, you're going to take your temperature for the body, like with a thermometer. You can look at your crown chakra as a thermometer. It is a good gauge and a good reflection with what's going on with your aura as well. Plant medicines are powerful for healing. Not only they're going to help purge toxins out of your body. If you're someone who's using psychedelics like plant medicine, like ayahuasca, mushrooms, things like that, you'll find that it makes your body naturally purge out and release the toxins, the chemicals, the programming that you're holding on to. It is very powerful in transcending past our ego programming and accessing other versions of ourself that are harder for us to access being here in the physical. It can allow you to bypass several of these spiritual veils too. It was a really powerful point in my journey. I was in California and using psychedelics so that I could gain access to areas that I wasn't able to while being awake and conscious. So these are powerful tools that can be combined with our newfound spiritual abilities. We have a lot of shamanic abilities going on around here, and these plant medicines can be powerful when you're using them in an adept way spiritually. I always tell people to approach these things with great respect. Plant medicine, I'm doing cards after. This is where I chill and talk about chakras. Tomorrow I'll chill and talk about Egypt before I go to work. I'm doing, I don't do cards in these spaces. I'd rather just plain channel. I hate cards if you know me. I hate doing cards. I'm actually really good at it, and I should do it more, I've found, when I do readings. And when I connect with people, it tends to be powerful, but, I mean, I'll just be honest here, I'm not a big fan of them anymore. I think I did so many cards that you probably just... So I'm doing cards after. I had to simulate my downloads right now. I download a lot of information in the morning. It's why I need some time before I can tackle my day. It is the best time to meditate, to download, to connect with the universe in the morning when you are full of energy. We wake up and we only have a certain amount of magic a day. I was watching a movie where they were making fun of it. Like the guy was like, I used my daily limit of magic. I was like, I know exactly what he's talking about, because I am more and more choosy with who I'm giving my energy to, because I only have a certain amount of energy a day, I've realized, until I go to sleep and recharge. If something happens and I get depleted or something, you know, you only have a certain amount of energy every single day. I see people complaining, the usual, my ex is stalking me. Just block them. You're choosing what you give your attention to, right? We give so much power to everyone and everything around us. We can choose what we're giving life to. That's how powerful we are. What we're giving life to in our own individual reality. Just ignore these people, these toxic people. Block and ignore, and they will fade away. Do you think that these problems that everyone is so stressed out about are going to be important 5 years from now, making a spiritual ascension on a global level? Do you think these little things that are such a trigger and so bothersome to you now are going to be important to you in a year? Probably not. So stop giving so much attention to things that will not be important in the future too. This storm is going to be the crumbling. Not just this storm, the next one too, leading into the equinox. The next one will be a big relief. But I look at this storm coming this week's storm energy coming as the crumbling. And it is very powerful that we understand. You guys have seen your entire realities lit on fire more times than you can count if you're honest with yourselves. Right? You guys have moved around a lot. Things didn't work out. Relationships didn't work out. Jobs didn't work out. All sorts of shit. And so we need to realize that the problem is that we got sold on this American dream that what we're supposed to be doing is building the house and the cars and the material. And we've been programmed to work on the material around us. But not only that, how to gauge our worth on it. I hate the people that are like, what do you do for a job? What kind of car do you drive? What kind of house do you own? And things like that to gauge where people are at in their lives, right? But we're finding that the material is going to fade away in a way that I doubt people are even ready for through this global ascension. Some people are finding it happening now time and time again, and everyone's at different places. But there is a crumbling that is going to occur, that we couldn't continue living in these lower frequencies, lower programs, running on fear, isolation, separateness, and things like that. And as these frequencies are going up, the things that are low frequency in your life are going to become very apparent. It could be friends that are just you're losing on your timeline. It could be jobs. It could be anything. We always think that we're waking up in the same place all the time, right? It feels like I just woke up in my bed today and I'm at home and I've been here for like the past forever, right? No, we're getting moved around all the time. Our timelines are changing. It could just feel like you're in the same spot, but trust me, we're getting moved around rapidly right now. And anything not serving us is crumbling. And the people that are choosing to try to make those things work, yeah, you either resonate or you don't. You can't force frequency. The people that are trying to make relationships work that just are not for them anymore are going to have a really hard time. My favorite thing to say is let go or be dragged, and I mean it. And I see so many people that torture themselves by not having the courage to do what's best for themselves, and the universe has to do it. And it tends to make our lessons a lot harder. So we're going to see some crumbling. Good morning, Bethany. We're talking about the crumbling. This is what I've entitled the storm. Everyone's like, oh my god, the storm's kicking my ass all week long. I was looking at the stream of residents, and I'm like, I hope you guys just enjoyed your week of rest. I know we've been having solar winds nailing us the whole time we're meant to be resting, but that was our week of rest, I assure you. We still have today to try to rest some more, but... Aw, no, I had to get up and go live. I didn't feel like it. I got the headband on for Sherry. I hate it though, and I'll probably just give it to her now. But I had to try it. It is a crystal, so maybe it'll heal my third eye. People, I was just throwing like random fun posts all over Facebook, and I gotta go find it. I put the post on my page that says that I have a long list of people I'm gonna haunt when I die, and I saw some people getting really highly offended over it. I got some weird comments on it. I was like, okay, we're gonna put a warning out there. If you're on any of my pages, I like to hang out, including especially my personal page. You need to approach me with a sense of humor. I know I tend to look at the state of the world and be really serious about it. Like I'm watching, you know, The World is Waking Up music video we did this morning, and I'm watching the world get blown up and destroyed, and, you know, everyone poisoned. Right? The people that are supposed to be helping, too. It's always the people that are supposed to be helping, right, that they go to for help. And I see all this kind of crazy stuff, but we really need to learn how to have fun. Like, we came to Earth to have fun experiences. Promise, swear. like, I know people are like, yeah, right, but we're meant to be having more fun. You haven't been able to rest. I know. That's why it's so funny to me. I'm watching all the Space Storm posts, and I'm like, oh, you guys, I know you cannot get accurate. Everyone is like, what apps are you using? And I'd like to look at them every day, because I got really good internal, like, space weather compass to navigate my own ascension. So I like to look at what's coming out scientifically and what kind of data they're putting out and just try to match things up. But they have no clue what they're talking about on these space weather sites. I swear. So I look at the space weather today. It is like the energy is perfectly calm. There are no more storms expected. And I'm looking at the moon calendar like, isn't this day one of the storm? Isn't today day one? And people won't start to feel it probably till Wednesday. It depends how energy sensitive you are, but it is day one, despite what NASA's putting out. Good morning, Razia. We're talking space weather, plant medicine, which has been very powerful for me in helping me with the healing that I had to do. I had some pretty serious healing. I had, you know, one of my friends hitting my inbox, and Ruthie hit my inbox, who does the Walking with the Angel group, and she tells me that she saw me in the astral. She wants to know if I have some kind of back pain, right? And I showed her some kind of scene in the dream world, and she's talking to me about it. I had a lot of physical trauma with my body. I went through a windshield of a car, and they pieced me together the best that they could. It's a miracle I can even walk today, like a straight miracle that I'm even running around like normal and walking everywhere and things like that with what happened to my body. Like, it got thrown through a windshield of a car. I went 50 feet through the windshield at 80 miles an hour, and I did some serious physical damage to my body. I have titanium plates all the way across up my hip. So she's asking me, I'm like, well, I broke my lower back and I broke my pelvis. So yeah, I've been having some kind of stuff like that. I found plant medicine to be the most effective thing that I could find in healing myself. I had a lot of chronic pain. By the time that I got off of the pharmaceuticals, I had a lot of DNA damage done to me from the pharmaceuticals, where my light body was very weak. I was very depleted of life force, energy, and I began my healing journey. And I used a lot of plant medicine to come off of the pharmaceuticals. I find that if you have very serious health kind of issues, you should be ingesting the weed. Not like eating it raw, but like eating edibles, things like the lollipops, tinctures, any kind of eating it, ingesting it, it tends to work better. We don't realize that smoking it probably is the most ineffective way we could be using it. So it's going to have different effects if you're ingesting weed or if you're smoking it. Now, I'm someone who is very tuned in through the dream states, like I say. So I am more of a morning smoker. I found that smoking weed before you go to sleep can make it so you're not recalling your dreams as much. But the reverse is true if you're ingesting it, I've usually found. Hi. Yeah, I get a lot of weed judgments, and then usually I'll tell people, like, weed saved my life, and then they'll just usually shut up. And I get the hard people, right? I get the hard people who have, like, been programmed forever that I get to try to go educate and be like, look, I had doctors that had me on so many medications that I don't know how these people sleep at night after waking up and understanding things, right? So they had me on so many medications, and they would harass me about the weed. They would drug test me being on some of these medications, and they would harass me. And I remember the same doctor that was like, she was really old. And my friend said she probably was around for the Reefer Madness campaigns, like no joke. She told me that I would turn schizophrenic if I smoked weed, and how bad it was for me, and that it would make me crazy if I smoked it, and that I needed to make sure I wasn't smoking weed. But in the same hand, she would be handing me my prescriptions. They will tell you how it is a drug, right? And how powerful it is and how awful it is for you. And then in the same breath, hand you some synthetic prescriptions for pharmaceuticals. Intent is powerful with anything that we're doing, and it's the same with your vitamins, your weed, your mushrooms. If you're into plant medicine, ayahuasca, things like that, we need to set intentions for these things. I Reiki everything in my life. Like whether it's my vitamins, all my water in my house, all my water in my house, my vitamins, my food, my house, my air, right? Reiki your life. Set intentions when you're using these things. It's powerful to Reiki your weed, as we found when I was living in California and playing with Reiki weed, right? Because weed is made out of crystals. We know Reiki is really powerful combined with crystals of any kind. So Reiki weed is really powerful. Program your weed. How do you do that? You're in 10 and it takes 1 second. Program your weed to activate and repair your DNA. That's what I did. So I said I had a lot of DNA damage, and I'm just doing what I do now, smoking weed. Okay, perfect. I put some Reiki into that weed to repair my DNA and activate it, and it did. Oh, the Irish music, I don't know if I can do it today. I wasn't feeling my normal wake-up music today either. I just wasn't feeling it. I like to put that music on level loud. I saged my house out really, really good. Make sure you guys are saging more too. We're having a lot happen in the dream state that I have yet to be able to process and put in words and be able to come back and explain on video. But we have a lot happening in the dream state. Some of you guys might be having like more lucid dream experiences, remembering crazy things. You could be healing, meeting old people that you have nothing to do with now to clear things in your sleep, seeing the future. So for sure, I'm needing to, even though I just cleaned my whole house expert level and saged yesterday afternoon, I for sure needed to sage again just after coming back from the astral. So you might want to be saging after the astral too. We're talking dreams. I know that's, you know, it has a lot to do with the crown chakra too. We always think of dreams as the third eye, right? But we don't realize how interconnected all these chakras are. And, you know, it's powerful the Crown Chakra and our connection with Source, our connection with the universe on so many levels. Alright, so we have a huge theme of taking back our power. You guys are giving energy to people that wouldn't even give you the time of day if you needed something. Sometimes, yeah, we have this drive as light workers and starseeds. I want to save everyone. I see people going through hard lessons and they seem easy to me. And I want to save everyone. Sherry wants to save all the animals. I want to save all the people, right? But we also need to learn that we're not meant to be interfering in other people's lessons. That's what most of my lessons were about this life, teaching me non-interference and how to assist from the unseen and things like that. So we need to really take back our power on every level, not just from the governments and everything we're focusing on all the time and giving our energy to. We need to really do a good inventory of our life, and we're going to get pushed into this last kind of purge. I know we're going through a purge the whole year, but we're going to get pushed into this last clearing before we hit spring. So I look at this energy up until the spring equinox as like a purge, letting go still, releasing, you know, just carrying on from the fall and the winter till now. And we're going to finish this up and kind of move forward into manifesting and creation on some levels, more letting go. Hi, Catherine. Catherine's doing hella work. How come we see every little fucking fault that we have, though, right? I think that you are too hard on yourselves, everyone included, right? We tend to put ourselves under a microscope without having all the correct information about things, either. We have our very limited perception going through this experience as ourselves. We really do. I know we're coming to more universal, conscious type of information now, but we really have limited perceptions. Let go of things. People hold on to these lessons. Shit that happened like 10 years ago that you already karmically paid for. If you ever had a fuck up here, trust me, you got the karma for it. You guys know how karma works because of that, right? Me too. So people tend to go through a lesson, get the karma, pay it off. 5 years later, they're still feeling bad about that lesson. You already paid for any kind of energy you put out karmically here. We have a blank slate every single day. So for sure, let go of the old stuff people are holding on to too. Have fun at your 3D job. Try to stay real high vibe. We can really be contagious to people. Just vibrating really high. Energy is contagious. How are you infecting people? Let's see. So we're working on the crown. Bliss. I think of the crown chakra, I think of bliss, right? It's this euphoria, this spiritual place that we're trying to reach. And it's more of a feeling, a mind state. So many levels. I see so many people, they're like, I hate my life. I don't know, a video yesterday. I hate my life. It sucks. Oh my God. Wanting to go somewhere else or do something different. But if you're not happy wherever you're at, you won't be happy anywhere. That bliss is internal. We need to find it. I said that it didn't matter where I was in California at the most like shithole places that I was happy. It wouldn't matter where I was in the world or where I got moved to. I had reached kind of this level of bliss, happiness within myself. So it didn't matter where I was and what was around me. We kind of all need to reach that. So many people are gauging happiness based on their surroundings. Yeah, please go in the Matrix more. We're trying to too. We're going on a Matrix adventure soon. We're going to London. I always love that. I like to be real loud and crazy in the Matrix too. Say crazy things to people. Time to wake up. This is your alarm clock, right? Tell someone that this is their wake-up call. They will look at you like, they might not understand you, but on some level, their consciousness does. On some level, planting seeds. I can control my energy a lot better at my house. People don't realize this. I tend to self-destruct. I go into the Matrix for a couple hours, and I'll reach energy overload. I get very grumpy, irritable, I'll reach energy overload. I might even start screaming in public if it really gets out of hand, right? It's happened. I don't care. I don't act any different than I would at home anywhere else, right? Could care less. I tend to hit energy overload though. It's too much energy for me to assimilate. And it tends to, if I'm around people and it's too much, it will tend to lower my frequency a lot. So I feel like sometimes when I'm in certain places, it's like such a frequency drop for me to go into some lower densities that it can be too much of a shock for me. I try to stay where I can regulate my own energy. To the point my husband didn't make me go out in the Matrix yesterday because he just knows now. I am a priestess. It would probably be better if I just, stay in my temple areas. Alright, so Crown Chakra. While there are really good foods for your chakras, we should be meditating and getting fresh air. You want to work on your crown or your root, get out into nature. I can't wait to start the root chakra next because I'm watching a lot of fear being purged out around us this week. So I'm ready to next week move into the root chakra, and I'm going to try to go outside and do some outside kind of feeds. It'll be a little warmer in like a week, so I'm going to try to get outside too and do a lot of grounding. We need to build solid, right? We need to work on grounding from the bottom up. So a lot of us are really good with our upper chakras and really need to focus on the lower ones. I found a lot of light workers are a little too in the upper chakras, right? We need grounding. We can just kind of fly away with the frequencies. So we're really in the upper ones. We see a lot of purple in the auras on our walls. Purple is one of the highest spectrums of the color frequency. It's a color that I resonate with easily. Usually it's my go-to color too. It is powerful in spiritual transformation. So, we see a lot of the violet flame in people's auras. Purple is a very spiritual color. Even when I was asleep, I had a very purple aura, people would tell me. When I was asleep and had no idea where I was and what I was doing, right? Floating around consciousness. But even asleep, I did meet some very spiritual people that could see my aura on my journey. A lot of the light workers always had a violet flame type of energy coming into this matrix, especially with a lot of indigos. A lot of galactic frequencies needed to be brought to this planet to do this ascension clearly with those indigo waves. Rainbow auras are the fifth dimensional frequency. That's where we're all headed. I always say that these groups are going to be blinging crazy rainbow colors by the time the sun comes back and it's summer in these groups, and I can't wait. So we can see where we're at. We can really gauge by looking at the auras and the energies around us of where the light workers are at. I get a good perspective because I'm working with all healers and light workers and people that are awake. So I can kind of see what's going on an energy sense. And for sure, people don't understand. I get a lot of ego responses back when I tell you guys what you need to do to attain those rainbow frequencies. And I get a lot of ego resistance back. Number one, you're not going to be able to eat meat. And I don't really get on people's case too much because I believe you'll hopefully hit a certain high enough frequency where you won't be able to on your own. Well, why is that? Fear frequencies. You become what you eat. If you have sex with someone, it's no different, right? You're merging energy. So it's really bad for us, the chemicals they put in it, the fear, but also, most importantly, we need to see animals as having a soul. I get so many ego justifications back. We need to see that animals have a soul. We need to have compassion for all life. Yes, spiritual oneness will not just be oneness for humans. It will be oneness and compassion for all life. So, a lot of people are stuck on a fourth dimensional timeline that have awoken and are light workers, right? Not doing what they have to do still. So if you want to get off that fourth dimensional prison timeline, and in the fourth dimensional, negative entities are on those timelines. When you wake up, that's where the lower spiritual play. You want to ascend into higher frequencies for sure, and you'll get rid of any of that garbage that goes with the fourth dimension too. Relationships can be worse than your food. Things that are taking our power and our energy. You become who you merge. If you're with someone who's doing no inner work and has a lot of spiritual issues, unhealed stuff, unresolved traumas, things like that, those are things that are going to lower your frequency. It's like having an anchor tied to you. So as you're trying to raise up and ascend, you're just going to get yanked back down because you're going to form one frequency with whoever you're dating or married to or having sex with. Let's see, what else? GMO food. It'll just short circuit your new fifth dimensional light body. Try eating GMO food and meat with the fifth dimensional light body. It will just fry you out and kill you. You will be puking. You You would throw up. You would be puking. Your system would not be able to handle it. We can look at our body as a computer system, software. I mean, what is our DNA? We're able to code it and recode it like a computer. Our body is like a computer. You can look at it like you're going from this piece of shit 80s computer to the new MacBook Pro, okay? And it's just going to have different software, different ways of running on it. I like that description a lot when I heard it. So, 5G. 5G is already everywhere. Is 5G coming? They traded our health for some shit old extraterrestrial technology. They have more technology than people could even comprehend around here. I know our technology sucks that we have access to. I barely can get Wi-Fi around here. It doesn't seem like we have a lot of technology, but you're going to notice that in my lifetime, I saw an amazing boom of technology just in my lifetime. You need to remember that. I always say TVs weren't around that long. That technology hasn't been around that long in the capacity that we know it. So we see a ton of indigos hit this planet. I always think of, galactic kind of frequencies with these souls, and with them are coming a big wave of technology. Level up to the fifth dimension, you won't feel the pain anymore. You won't believe what I've done on my healing journey, because I have bad pain I doubt people could grasp. I'm not feeling it. Yeah, I had a little ache in my lower back the other day I was crying about on video and probably asking for Reiki and things like that, but you will not feel it in the same capacity. So what happens is we get these injuries. Could be a broken bone, could be, some kind of injury, and then they convince you that you should be feeling pain. It's normal. It's normal. But we find that when we remove the metals and the toxins, that we probably aren't going to feel pain in that capacity. Those are things lowering our frequencies and putting us in those pain states. So for sure, we need all our chakras open and aligned. I like those little is your chakra block tests. I'll throw some more on the wall later. And you can go down and probably gauge which chakras you've been working on most of your life. It's pretty apparent for me, the ones that I'm working on. We also, when you have a child, we need to understand that whatever chakras you're working on and you have blocked, immediately your child will get those too. I know they've convinced you that heart disease runs in your family and cancer and all this stuff. No, but the karmic lessons are. The karmic experiences are going down the bloodlines. It's not the diseases. It's just that you're working on similar lessons. So my mother had lost her father at a very young age, had me as a baby, and I probably was born with a blocked heart chakra. I lost my mother, and that was a path that I went down, learning in that heart chakra type of lessons from a young age. So that was something that had been a lesson that was going down that bloodline for a very long time. So, if you have a blocked heart chakra and you have a child, yes, congratulations, you just passed that down to your child. So this has a really big connection between our lessons, our karma from past lives, and, what chakras we will work on. You can also look at your parents as, people won't like this, you in a past life. Yeah, everything's colliding in the now. Time isn't what we think it is. You can look at your parents as you a very long time ago, and then you should probably be more gentle with them because the child's always the teacher and things like that. Look at their lessons. What were they struggling with? What were their issues? What were their hang-ups? What were they not strong enough to conquer in themselves? And that will tell you exactly what you're doing here, because those are where we start out learning. We come into Earth. We have this family, and we begin to learn with those lessons that our parents, had before us. They kind of just continue down the line. And there is so much pattern between the bloodlines that we have incarnated into and our past lives, and it's just so crazy. Very deep. The universe is so deep. You've met yourself time and time again, and you've never realized it. Everyone's looking for their flame. Well, theoretically, every person on this planet would be your flame, would they not be? So they found their flame with another, not realizing that you can just find that with anyone here. You don't realize that wouldn't everyone else just be you, another incarnation on some level? I know we have different frequencies and things going on, but do you send loads of Reiki? Not only do I send, did I do a lot of healing, not just on my life now, my past lives, our collective past, but I'm learning in heart chakra frequencies in the UK. I moved my entire life to the United Kingdom so that I could be on the Earth's heart chakra and third eye chakra. So I found that is very powerful for healing because it's different frequencies. I'm living in heart chakra kind of frequency energy. So it's been very powerful in healing that. while I'm healed. Yeah, I'm healed. I'm as healed as I'm about to get around here. I mean, I've been detoxing like 4 years, healing right every day. I consider myself healed, but I've been imprinted by every experience that I have. I'm still going to hold a certain, you know, imprint from those experiences. That's what people don't realize, that these experiences have shaped us into who we are. And while we're going to heal from them, the imprint will remain with us. Hi, Mandy. I sit around and have even deeper conversations with the universe since I can download, right? I've learned how to ask complex questions too. So, we are working on clearing everything karmically right now. You'll notice that sometimes, you know, you can look at your parents' dating life and you might see how that has played a role in your dating life and the patterns that you carry when it comes to dating. And, you know, your relationships around you. What do you need to do to detox? You should hit my inbox for the vitamin list if you haven't, but it should be pinned to the top of the group. You really need, at the least, the chlorella and turmeric. Detoxing is a huge component with this ascension and raising our frequency as high as we can. Ascension is about spiritual purification on every level, so we need to purify the mind, the body, and the soul. Like on every level. I'm going to let you guys go on this note because I'm going to get off of here and do some real cards. But for sure, keep working on your crown chakra. You know, Francisco will come do a video on it too. Get outside. Get some fresh air. It's freezing out here, but I have all my windows open anyway. And I'm doing a lot of sage. Things like clearing your energy. Palo Santo, incense, sage, all really, really good for your crown chakra. The usual salt baths, right? Getting out into nature. Getting more fresh air. There's a crazy energy on this planet. While it might feel really still right now, I always like how the dogs and small children are usually really tuned into that energy, right? You can really look at like what's going on with your small child or your pet, and you can really get a good gauge of it. And I was making a joke this morning because my dog was running around with the zoomies. And I was like, yeah, people don't get it. The universe is ready to move today. The universe is ready to move on all new levels around us. I hope you've enjoyed your rest. For sure, try to use this energy to get things done, to manifest. Whatever we're thinking about the next couple days is going to manifest in a huge way come the equinox. So make sure you guys are planting good seeds.